Hey, That's deep. Please like and subscribe. Please click on the Deck Heroes icon. Click on subscribe. It's 100% free. Blood in, blood out. And there's lots of exciting and interesting and varied content. This particular lady, I think it would help a few ladies just to get a man's perspective on things. Okay, so she's a little bit confused about the relationship status of somebody she was dating who went on to get married, and she's just trying to process it. I'm not going to dive too deeply into the fact that she was stalking him and she was stalking his partner, his now wife or his fiance, whatever. I'm not going to go too deep into that, but I'll just put it out into the universe. But anyway, let's see what she's got to say and how she justifies that bit.
A guy I dated over the summer got married last weekend. I'm not really sure how I feel about it. So not many people that I go on dates with I add to my Facebook. But this man, we dated for months. And I added him to my Facebook. And I was like, okay, so I'm scrolling through Facebook yesterday and all of a sudden he pops up. It's this beautiful wedding. It's this woman. She's on the...
Just a second, I need to jump in there. So we were dating for months, and I don't know how it is. Where is she? I think she's in the States, maybe. If you are dating for months, she didn't say that they were in a relationship. They were dating. Dating means nothing at all. You date, say you meet somebody. Okay, so just say right now that some guy met her for the first time, or they go on 2 dates. They were on 2 dates. Is there anything there to kind of say there's anything substantive? So if you make that 2 dates, a few more dates over 2 months, you're still nowhere. You're nowhere until somebody says you're in a relationship, you are exclusive. And if that's not been said, then it's not said. You can't have a relationship from just one side. You know what I mean? So I think women just need to kind of just be aware, and as I say, if they want to be in a relationship or if they're unsure, then you need to ask. And if you don't feel secure enough to ask, then you already know the answer. You know, you're just dating, or it's just on the way to get there at best, or never going to get there. Anyway, let's see what she says.
freaking mountainside with an ocean behind her, like this beautiful picture, and I look and it's him. And I was like, sir. So then I'm perplexed. And I'm like, okay, well, did you like meet and fall in love and get married after 4 weeks? Because I mean, that happens, right? People get married on the first date and are together forever. People are together for 10 years and get married and then get divorced next year. Like, shit happens. I'm not here to judge. I'm just trying to figure out now how bad I got played. So I dated this man from April until almost June. Like, it was a month of my life. And it wasn't like a casual thing. We saw each other at least once a week. We went
From April, and then the narrator mentions this as well, from April until almost June. That means April until the following month. That means 1 month at best. 1 month, maybe a couple of weeks, maybe a couple of days, maybe even less than a month. Why are you even making a video? The fact that you are making a video, if you're not just doing this for clickbait, the fact that you are doing a click video is because you're crazy. Or you don't have any balance in life. Unless you ain't crazy. But you don't have any balance. And at your age, you should know where you stand. And if you don't know where you stand, that says more about you than anything else. I don't want to be too critical, but come on. You're exaggerating for a start. You're making it seem like something bigger than what it was. It was April to May. It's nothing. Oh, so anyway, so what she said.
away for a weekend together. And I was trying to like put the math together in my head. So I looked. Now, when we stopped seeing each other, he lived a little far.
Okay, I need to jump in. Okay, so she meant I'm going to go back a little bit. All right, so she said something about having a weekend away, like it was a something. Are people that naive? Now, let's be real now. Let's be real. You've just known somebody for a couple of weeks. You never said you was in a relationship. You had a weekend away in which you both slept in the same bed. I don't want to throw out any kind of assumptions about motivations for both parties to have a weekend away. But all things considered, you kind of, after a couple of weeks, the relationship ended. That's it, right? That's it. That's where you both go your own separate ways, and you know, at least you gave it a shot, right? You're not going to do anything like weird, are you?
Thing. We saw each other at least once a week. We went away for a weekend together. And I was trying to like put the...
No, hold on. Saw each other at least once a week, right? So some of those, I reckon it's about 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks at most. And that some of those weeks you only saw each other once a week. Sometimes, you know, maybe more than once a week. Maybe that weekend she just talked about. She maybe only saw this guy in that whole time 5 or 6 times, maybe 7 times in a month. I'm thinking it's more like 5, including that weekend. About 5 times she's seen this guy, and she's making a video about it. That's weird, darling. Come on now. Come on.
Math together in my head. So I looked. Now, when we stopped seeing each other, he lived a little far away. So it wasn't like something we never had like the seeing other people conversation. It wasn't something like that we were talking about. But I thought like we were dating. I wasn't dating other people. When we stopped talking to each other, it was because he said he started dating someone else, and that.
And again, let's rewind what she says. Let's see that again.
Like that we were talking about. But I thought like we were dating. I wasn't dating other people. When we stopped.
I thought we were dating. I wasn't dating other people. I thought, let's see it one more time, because I say don't miss that, because, oh man. If she's not full of bullshit, then she's been very selective about these events which she's been quite clear about. They only knew each other for a month, making it seem like it's months. It was a month, maybe slightly more than a month, maybe slightly less than a month, but it wasn't months plural, it was 1 month at the most. It was April to May, that's 1 month. Unless it's like really right at the beginning of April, which is very unlikely. Possible, but very unlikely. Then it goes into May. That's 1 month and a bit. You know what I mean? Realistically. And they weren't in a relationship. This is just focus on the facts. My gosh.
Each other. He lived a little far away. So it wasn't like something we never had like the seeing other people conversation. It wasn't something like that we were talking about. But I thought like we were dating. I wasn't dating other people. When we stopped talking to each other, it was because he said he started dating someone else, and that he didn't see, we were not as compatible, blah, 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 whatever. And it was a very adult way to break up. And I was like, okay, that's fine. I totally get that. But now, looking back, I'm like, were you dating her the entire time? You married her. It's been months. So I did a little bit more digging. And I looked on her Facebook, and I was trying to figure out, like, when she put that they were official. And because I'm like, am I good luck Chuck? Like, you leave me, and then you meet the love of your life, and then you get married right away? Or were you playing both of us at the same time?
You were never going out, Donna. You were never going out at all. But anyway, you're going into this kind of next level. You've known somebody for a period of time. I think to get to know somebody and doing a little bit of Facebook search, however you want to phrase it, a little bit of social media searching, just so you know a little bit about the person you're dating, I think that's not so bad. But I think after it's finished, that's when you're kind of being a little bit obsessive and you're being definitely intrusive, and you definitely would not have consent. You would not have had consent, and maybe you even had to add his current partner, his fiance, for the past kind of little fling that was nothing. That's too intrusive. Anyway, let's see what else she goes with this.
And according to her Facebook, they were together for sure the entire time that I was dating him. I clearly didn't know. I don't know what kind of deal they had going on, but how would you feel if someone you dated for months got married like that quickly? I don't know how to feel about this.
All right, so here we go again. Another woman upset because the guy she was casually dating for a couple of
Let's see what he says.
months went and got married last weekend. But let's break this down and add some perspective, because there's a lot of delusion here. First off, April to almost June is not months of dating. 2 months? That's barely a season. And to be real, she's out here talking about it like it was some long-term, committed relationship. Let's be honest, it was not. It wasn't a boyfriend-girlfriend situation. It wasn't anything serious. And now she's mad because he moved on and got married. Come on, let's clear this up. Spring and summer aren't interchangeable, and dating for 2 months doesn't make this some kind of deep connection that's worth holding on to for dear life. And honestly, the fact that she's making it out to be more than what it was just highlights how some people try to inflate these casual situations into something bigger than they are. Now, here's the reality. Men marry the women in front of them when they're ready. That's just how it works. It's not about how long he's known her, how intense the relationship was, or even if it was a casual thing for a few months. When a man is ready to settle down, he will. And that's probably what happened here. He didn't need months of dating or some drawn-out, emotional roller coaster to make that decision. He was ready, and the woman who was there when he was ready, that's who he married. It might seem strange to some, but it's actually not that complicated. Men don't need to get to know someone for years before deciding to marry them. When they're ready, they're ready. It's not about how much time you've put in or how many hoops you've jumped through. It's about timing. And that's the part that some women really struggle with. They think the more time they invest, the more they can convince a man to be ready for them. But it doesn't work like that.
Listen, it's not just about timing though, is it? It's not just, I don't know the motivation of this guy, why if he was already in a relationship and which ultimately led to marriage, why he was kind of thinking, well actually I'll kind of dip out. You know what I mean? Maybe he was just sowing those last oats or something like that, or maybe they were in a break in their relationship and they got it together. We'll never know. But it's not for her to investigate. She doesn't factor in this. She never did really factor in it. They were just kind of loosely dating with no commitment. And then that relationship ended, or what a little, not that little, no, not relationship. That little thing ended, which gives her no right to intrude on his privacy at all. At all. What she should have done is consider that, okay, yeah, well, he's not interested in me, and that's the reality I need to accept and move on with my life, and not kind of still linger around like she's got some claim to anything. She's got a claim to nothing, as simple as that. In terms of men, the people that men ultimately marry, they have those intrinsic qualities that they are looking for, usually attractive, good company, feminine, and good kind of motherly material to a future wife to your future kids, usually something along those lines. But the intrinsic values are sexual attraction, good company, as a femininity, and those just kind of positive attributes that you can respect, that you can build a positive, progressive future together. I'm not saying that she doesn't have it, but she wasn't anything better than he already had by proof of how things panned out. She shouldn't really take that as a negative. They never had anything. They never had they never had anything. Just enjoy the moment for what it was, and just continue your search. Simple as that. Let's move on.
A guy could date you for years and not commit, and then turn around and marry someone he met a few months later. Why? Because at that moment, he was ready to settle down. It's all about timing, not how much history you have with someone. So now she's mad because in her mind, they had something real going on, and now he's married to someone else. But the truth is, it wasn't that deep, and she's upset because she wasn't the one he chose when he was ready to take that step.
This is everything I learned after dating for 4 months in New
100%, of course, timing is everything. Of course, you need to be at the right stage of your life, and yeah, that's a very, very, very good video. Anyway, lots of amazing content, not just from this channel, but from lots of different sources. I'm going to touch on everything from kind of health to current affairs to kind of deep dives and kind of psychological studies. I'm sure you've seen some of those videos that I've got, and a few films as well. A lot of everything. So yeah, please like, subscribe, keep on the notifications. That is Steve, and I am out.